Okay, today we're talking about proportion by parts. So we're staying with proportions. The thing about proportion by parts is that you are solving a proportion by comparing a part of something to the whole thing. Okay, you're comparing the part of something to the whole thing. So, it would come in handy on a problem like this. It says Bob and Mark are running for class president. Mark receives 5 votes for every 3 votes that Bob gets. If there are 40 students in the class, how many votes did they each get total? Okay. Alright, so first thing I did was write the information that I knew. I knew that Bob gets 3 votes to every 5 votes that Mark gets. And I know that there's a total of 40 kids in the class that voted. Alright, so there's my information. In order to solve this, I'm going to be eventually setting up a proportion. Okay? But here's how I'm going to do it. Using proportion by parts, I'm talking, again, about the total. I'm comparing part to the total. Well, here's what we have. We have one total here is 40. Okay? And the other thing we know is that for every 3 votes Bob gets, Mark gets 5. Okay? Another way of thinking about this is for every 8 kids that voted in the class, Mark gets 5 of those votes. How did I get 8? Because 5 plus 3 is 8. So basically, when 8 kids vote, 5 of them vote for Mark. Okay, he gets 5 out of every 8 votes. And guess what? That is actually going to be my first ratio. Mark getting 5 votes for every 8 kids that vote. Okay, I'm comparing the part, Mark's part, to the whole of 8 kids voting. Okay? Right now, again, we're only focused on Mark. We're just focused on Mark right now, and he gets 5 out of every 8. So that's my first ratio. He gets 5 out of every 8. Okay? Well, there's 40 total kids in the class, and we are trying to figure out how many votes Mark got total. Okay? So, here we go. Here's our proportion. It's nicely set up for us now. We just have to cross multiply to solve this. 40 times 5 is 200. And 200 divided by 8 is going to be 25. So, total, out of every kid in the class, Mark got 25 votes. Okay? So there we go. We figured out how many votes Mark has. But the question asked us, how many votes did they both get total? Okay? All right, so here it is. Mark, 25 total. How many did Bob get total? Well, we could set up another proportion like this. We absolutely could, and we could solve for Bob. But an even easier way to solve for how many Bob got is just to say this. 40 kids are in the class. We already figured out that 25 of them voted for Mark. The rest of them must have voted for Bob. That's 15 kids, so Bob must have gotten 15 total votes. Mark got 25, Bob got 15. Okay. It's all about setting up this part to whole relationship. Over here we had the part to the whole. Over here we also had the part to the whole, the total. Part to whole, part to whole. Okay. Let's look at another one. You are mixing paint together for an art class. For every 5 drops of red paint you mix in, you put in 3 drops of, hold on, that's important information. 5 drops of red. You mix in 3 drops of yellow and 1 drop of blue. If you end up mixing in 24 drops of yellow paint, how many total drops of paint of any color did you mix in? Okay. Well, obviously we're going to need a proportion, and we already know that we're going to need part to whole, part to whole. Okay, so now we just got to figure out what information we know that's relevant. Okay, first of all, what is it asking us? It's asking us how many total drops of paint of any color did you mix in? Okay, total drops of any color, all colors combined. Is that going to be a part or a whole? Well, if it's all colors combined, that's going to be a whole. That's like a total. Okay? So let's erase one of these, and we know that that's what we're trying to find is one of these whole, or one of these totals. Okay, so we'll use that for x. That's what we're trying to figure out. Okay. Well, what do we know? What is the part to this total? What is the part to this total? It says if you end up mixing in 24 drops of yellow paint. That's the part. Okay, that's the part. 24 drops of yellow. Right here. 24, I'm going to put Y for yellow. Okay? Alright, so there we go. We've got one ratio. Let's start over at the beginning. We're mixing paint together. Every 5 drops of red, we put 3 yellow and 1 drop of blue. Okay, well look here. We had 24 yellow. So our part over here is probably going to have to match. Remember, proportions always kind of match each other like that. So if we talk about yellow over here, we're going to be talking about yellow over here too. And what is the part up here that's yellow? Well, it's 3. 3 drops of yellow. Okay. So now we've just got to figure out 3 is a part of what whole, what total. Okay, well there were 3 drops of yellow, 1 drop of blue, and 5 drops of red. So to figure out our total for this ratio, we're going to be adding these all together. 5 plus 3 plus 1. 5 plus 3 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So our whole over here is 9. That's our total. Okay? And there we go. Now we've got our proportion set up. Now we just need to cross multiply to solve this. All right? 24 times 9. Start with that. $216. So we cross multiplied. Here's what we just did. We got 216. Now we're going to need to divide by 3. And we get 72. So, how many total drops of paint of all colors did you mix in? 72 drops of paint. Okay? Again, proportion by parts is all about identifying what is the part and what is the whole. What is the part? What is the whole? Got to match them up. Don't forget to answer the question in the description, and I'll see you all tomorrow.